In the latest advancements in cloning, then you've got to join me, Soulrift, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. only on GameSHOUT Radio.
And now, it's time for the GameSHOUT technology news and reviews. Taking your questions live, the GameSHOUT Technology Show.
Welcome to Technology Today. This show is brought to you by Newegg.com. Newegg.com is an online computer, consumer electronics, and communication products superstore offering the widest product selection of IT and CE brands in the industry. At Newegg, consumers can find product information, how-tos, customer reviews, and opportunities for community interaction. That's Newegg. That's Newegg.com. And now your host of the show, Soulrift and Jadri.
Welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. This is Technology Today, brought to you by Newegg.com. I am your host, Soulrift. Of course, with me is my April Fresh co-host, Jadri.
That's right. I just showered.
Yes, thank you. And we have a very special show. Of course, we had our holiday wish list for the game software in our roundtable discussion. Of course, now we've got the technology wish list for hardware on the technology show. Yes, I got my holiday wish list item. I got a wonderful new Iwata Eclipse HPCS airbrush, gravity feed, rated at 60 psi air pressure. Oh,
I like that. Oh, yeah, that's good.
But nowadays, most popular technology requires electricity in some form or another. So, of course, in our tech gadgets, it's less artsy stuff and more computer stuff, and also, media station stuff. In fact, our first item up for the must-have for the holidays is this thing. I was browsing through, looking for cool gadgets, and this one just jumped out at me. Really, really cool. Get this. You might have heard of your TiVo or your digital video recorder. You're taping your programs. Well, how about you can take them with you and watch them on the go? And that's what you can do with the Arcos 40 gig mobile digital video recorder, model AV700. So this is it. This is a mobile DVR. So you plug it into your TV settings, your cable, your satellite, just like any other DVR, and you can record the TV. You can play it back, but you can also take it with you, and it's got an LCD screen built into itself, and you just watch it. It looks like a big PSP almost. It's this big LCD, and you can watch your TV shows on the go. The battery life is rated at 4 hours of TV or 30 hours of just music, and that's just such a cool gadget. I can't get over it. So that one's about it's on sale, one-day sale at Newegg.com. Ends tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It's $520 and definitely worth taking a look for if you're into TV. I know some of our cast members here like watching shows like Lost and can never remember to tape them. Well, with a DVR like this, you could not only tape Lost, but watch it in the car on the way into the studio, eh?
We could.
Yes, well, they could, and they'd probably crash, and then we'd be out of producer, and that wouldn't be very good, would it? But it is 40 gigs, and that should be enough to record several hours of TV, and it is a 7-inch LCD, so it's not exactly a gigantic, 27-inch TV. It's a 7-inch portable screen, but it should be enough for one person, watching some TV in a long car drive, perhaps. Now, hey, Jadri, you found a whole bunch of little gadgets, didn't you?
Yeah, back when we were all talking about the video gaming things, I went and hunted down some peripherals. A little something to go with into sort of the gadget category, and some that really just fit right into the gaming category. My first choice would be the Red Octane Ignition Pad 3.0 from Red Octane. Now basically this is your Dance Dance Revolution pad, only this is your end-all, best of all dance pads. This thing is made for the PS2, the PlayStation, the Xbox, and PC. It's got all the connectors built right into it. Now, these things have very thick foam padding built into it, so it's not going to be like a little pad you can just bend and it's gonna mess it all up. And it's got the full-size pad points in it, and it's like anti-slip material.
Now, I've heard that Red Octane also makes like the metal hard pads with the springs, you know, just like you'd get in the actual arcade. I mean, don't they make those as well?
Yep, they make the metal pads for the floor, but those are very, very pricey. Those hit the $200 range at least, usually. These pads cost around $80 a piece, so they're not exactly cheap, but they're a very, very nice pad.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I've found some cool gadgets myself. Actually, this is another one that I was looking at. It's the you know, these days digital cameras are becoming really cool, really popular. I think they've really replaced standard film cameras, even in a lot of other applications. Well, if you're still looking for a digital camera, here's one that you might want to look at. It's called the Canon Digital Rebel XT. It's an 8-megapixel digital camera from Canon, very, very well-known name in the manufacturing of digital cameras, and it's 8 megapixels, which is, you know, absolutely astounding. Very, very high quality, high resolution images on that. It looks like a traditional camera. You know, it's got the big giant lens. It's what is it? A 55 millimeter. 18 to 55 millimeter. I'm sorry, I'm not that up on camera technology, but it's an 18 to 55 millimeter lens. But it's one of those cameras where you can take the lens off and put on other, you know, a wide-angle lens, a telescopic lens. It's not like these modern digital cameras where the little tiny lens kind of
like
opens up and zips
35
out.
millimeter in there. Yeah, the real cameras.
Yeah, well, see, this is a digital camera, but the lens is removable. You can take off the big round thing that sticks out, the lens,
right,
and put something else on.
Yeah, I've got a 35 millimeter that is the same thing, long telescopic lens, or I can drop down to any. It's an old camera, but it's like the cameras of old, like old guys like me are used to.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a quality camera to be able to go out and really take a lot of perhaps landscape shots, nature shots, you want a real camera, but you still want it to be digital as well. Well, this one will let you take images up to 3,456 pixels by 2,304 pixels. Whew, those are giant pixels.
Baby! That's huge!
Yes, on the largest size, the highest quality, each picture will be 3.3 megabytes. If you just take a raw bitmapped image, it will be 8.3 megs, but at the highest quality JPEG, it's 3.3. And of course, the camera can compress images down. You know, if you want to take a smaller picture, not so high quality, you can compress it down to like 0.6 megs per picture, and that's still it's pretty hefty, and you're getting some great pictures. So of course, once you get home, you've got to take out your digital camera and put them into Photoshop, make them a lot smaller if you're going to be putting them up on a web page, at least as thumbnails. Now, what else did you find, Jadri?
Well, my next item would have to be the Z-board. Now, I already have one of these, and I must say it is the most comfortable keyboard I have ever owned. Not only is it very, very comfortable, it's USB, it has 2 USB ports built in, but the real drop-dead amazing thing about this is the removable key set. Now, it comes with its standard keyboard key set, as well as a second key set, which you open up and pull out and slide in, and it has what they call butterfly keys, where it's basically remapped all the keys of the keyboard into its own separate keys. Like you have your move forward, left, right, back, and move to the like sidestepping keys. Basically, it's set up for a first-person shooter, pretty much any first-person shooter.
Yeah, that is. It's very cool.
Now, the other nice thing about it is it's a bit more advanced than your standard keyboard for gaming. It actually is able to register up to 7 simultaneous keystrokes instead of the normal 2 to 4, which happens to be the standard for a PS2 keyboard or a USB keyboard.
Yes, plus there's certain key combinations that you may or may not have discovered, like R, G, 8, and 6 on the numpad don't like to work together.
Really?
Yes,
Now,
well, the inners of these old-fashioned keyboards, they actually have these large grids of circuits, and some of them start to overlap. And so there's a few mysterious combinations of unusually pressed together keys that don't work together because they happen to overlap the same circuit. But enough on the technology. What's your last gadget for us?
My last gadget is a very, very neat little rocking chair. Now, this isn't just any rocking chair. It's a gaming rocking chair. Now, they call it the X-Rocker, and this has speakers built into it, along with a subwoofer built right into the center of it.
What's it called?
It's called the KD X-Rocker Gaming Music Chair.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Now, basically this thing it's just two big old speakers and a subwoofer built right into it, so you're pretty much feeling the music or sound, and it's fully directional as well, so you know where things are coming from. And it also connects into pretty much any sound source you have. You hook it up to your MP3 player, your PSP, your Xbox, PS2, TV, DVD player, CD player.
That is so cool. And it's a rocking chair? Like, it rocks back and forth?
Well, it rocks if you lean back in it. I mean, you can... As you balance your weight, it'll slide back some, so you're in a more comfortable position, curled out some. But it will rock with you if you want to, like, move.
Yeah, but it's not... This isn't something that's... It sits in a chair. It's like a seat that sits within a seat, isn't it?
It's actually... Yes, it's just speakers within the seat. They're built right in.
Right. And so you put it into another seat, or another chair of some sort.
No. Nope, it sits right on the floor.
That doesn't look like... I mean, it doesn't look like it's tall enough.
Yeah, it's weird.
The AK design? The AK design? I'm looking at the AK design indoor-outdoor rocking chair. I guess I'm looking at the wrong one.
Nope, this one sits right on the floor.
Banana?
That would be it.
Yeah, it's like you sit on it
cool.
and you have to balance yourself while you're sitting on it. You can sit in like any position on that chair, like any point that the chair could be sitting on the ground, you can rest on that spot. It's just you have to balance yourself while you're doing it. You get used to it after a while.
Huh.
Now, the only real downside is...
one that was similar.
This thing is heavy. This thing weighs in at 38 pounds, so it's pretty hefty.
Wow, that is heavy.
Well, it's got speakers in it, so I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and all the electronics.
And all the electronics, yeah.
Now, Soulrift, what else did you have?
Well, you know, I was looking out for some really hot and popular hardware for gaming. Of course, 'tis the season to buy a video card. By and large, if you're looking for a video card, now's the time to get one. Both NVIDIA and ATI have been releasing fantastic new video cards over the summer. The 7000 range from NVIDIA, the X1000 range from ATI, plus their previous generation cards are also still floating around, the 6000s and the X800 range. If you're looking for a gift for a gamer, you can't go wrong with upgrading their video card. Now, I would stress, make sure you talk to the person who may be receiving this gift and make sure that they can actually use the video card. A lot of these new video cards use the PCI Express interface, whereas a lot of older motherboards use the AGP8X interface. So while it's still possible to get some AGP 8X cards, especially with the older models, if you're getting a gift of a video card, you may end up forcing your gift receiver to upgrade their whole computer just to take advantage of their gift. If you're trying to, which isn't always a bad thing. Maybe you'll get the entire family. Everyone will pitch in a component.
I was looking for X800s, and I was finding some AGP 8X X800s out there. Those are still there. I didn't look for an X850 at that size, but I also looked at the 9800s and AGPs. But what about the 7800? Does that also have an AGP available?
Well, I don't think the 7800 is available. I think the previous generation, the 6000 series, the 6800 would have AGPs available.
Yep,
yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I've got the X800 Pro AGP in my computer because I got it, over a year ago now. PCIe wasn't very hot at the time. It's mostly just this year, around springtime, shortly after E3. PCIe really took over the mainstream of hardware. Now, if you're trying to pick out a video card to give as a gift, you don't have to worry terribly about whether it's ATI or NVIDIA. We've reached the point where just about both of these incredible video cards are going to be way faster. It's like trying to pick between two different motorbikes, both of which can reach a top speed of 400 miles an hour, when you're never going to find a road that lets you go faster than, 120, 130. So you're getting way more power than today's computers can even handle. Don't worry terribly about the specific models. But if you, of course, the bigger the number, the better the video card. You will get slower video cards if you take, say, the X 1300 or 1600 instead of the X1800. There are a lot of technical details, but if you're not entirely sure what to get, I'm sure the people at the store getting the card can help you pick one out. Now, on the topic of trying to pick out a gift, one of the hottest gadgets for quite a while now have been all the different iPods. And Jadri, I think you've got a little buyer's guide for all the different iPods, right?
Yep. Right before I get into that, I just want to assure everyone, Soulrift is not a crazy driver. He is Canadian. And I think he was talking kilometers, so everyone, you're safe. He's not going to drive 120 miles per hour.
Oh, that's right. I'm still not good at those number conversions. It is a lot smaller numbers here. What? But people don't drive 120 miles an hour down here? Well, anyway, on to the iPods. Those you don't drive very fast at all.
Alright, well, basically, iPod, right, if you go current, you've got the three base models of iPods. The iPod Shuffle, the Nano, and the standard iPod with video. Now, the Shuffle it goes from 512 megabytes or a gig. So it's not really a whole lot of songs. It's around 120 to 240 songs on it. So you've got that right there, which is also the cheapest iPod. It's good for the people that don't really care what they're listening to, because that's why it's called the Shuffle. It has no you can't pick what you listen to. You basically fill it up and then it'll play whatever. It's good for the people who just are going to go out jogging and don't care what they listen to for a while.
Doesn't the Shuffle have like a smart memory though? Like if you skip a song, it'll remember like what you skipped and everything?
I do believe it does have that feature. Now, it only takes about 4 hours to charge. It's USB 1.0 and 2.0 built right into it, so you don't need any cables. And it plays pretty much any format under the sun. Just drag and drop right in of MP3 or WAV or iTunes song that you buy the AAC format. Now, next up is the iPod Nano. Now, these come in a 2 GB flavor or a 4 GB flavor. Now, the other thing they added about this is the white and the black now. I guess iPod decided, hey, we liked how everyone was buying the U2 iPod, but they didn't really like how, I guess, people liked the black iPod because it was black and not because it was U2, though. So, they decided, hey, we'll release a white and a black, which they did now. So it's in a 2 GB or 4 GB flavors, with about 14 hours of music playback in the battery. Now, that's about 500 songs for the 2 gigabyte and around 1,000 songs for the 4. This also has... Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And there's also the iPod with the videos, and I'm sure we'll get to that. First, we got to take a really quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
Of Newegg.com. Go on that website and check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's a whole testimonial page. People are using the L word when it comes to Newegg.com. They say love. I love Newegg.com. How is Newegg.com earning this kind of devotion? Well, they sell computers, components, and electronics, that's true. But it's the great price, it's the huge selection, it's the fair shipping, and it's because the customer service is so great. They actually care about your satisfaction. They have video cards, routers, wireless networking equipment, DVD players, hard drives, software, digital cameras, and unbelievable fair shipping. So, I can't sing the praises of Newegg.com enough, and neither can anyone else. So whether you need a motherboard or the mother of all TVs, go to Newegg.com. You'll see what their millions of happy customers are raving about. Once you know, Newegg.com.
And welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. This is Technology Today, brought to you by Newegg.com. I am your host, Soulrift, and with me tonight is my cheeky wee co-host, Jadri, who's telling us all about the different iPods, eh?
Wait a minute. What did you call me?
My cheeky wee sidekick, yes?
Okay. Back
it's
to
a pop
the
culture
iPods.
reference, don't worry about it. Yeah, get back to the iPods.
Now, before we went to break, the iPod Nano. Basically, this is your next step up. It's a bit like your iPod Trainer almost. It's a little bit more pricey, but it still has a lot more features than the Shuffle. It's about $100 more if my memory serves me, but it's also got the LCD screen built in, and it's got more space, as well as the ability to have video. I'm sorry, not video. It has photo capabilities, so you can put on your own photos. This thing charges relatively fast, about 3 hours, and it has its dock connector, so you do have to have a cable with it. Now, it has a 1.5-inch diagonal color LCD with LED screen, so you do get to see what you're listening to, you get to pick everything out, you get to set up your playlists, and it comes with everything you pretty much need with its headphones. It weighs in about 1.5 ounces. Now, the big kahuna of them all is the now 5th gen iPod with video. This weighs in with 30 gigabytes instead of the 2 or 4, and 60 gigabytes. And again, it comes in white or black. This holds 7,500 songs or 15,000 songs.
That is a lot of songs.
Yeah, mine isn't even half full. Now this has a 2.5-inch diagonal screen, and it also has the abilities to let you watch video on it, which you have to simply convert it to MP4 format or MAV format or something that's Apple compatible in 320 by 240, and it will load it right in. And I've got episodes of Family Guy and Drawn Together on here, and
that's pretty
will
cool.
It'll handle video for about 2 hours just on its battery, about 14 hours with just music, and 3 hours of its picture slideshows if you put pictures on.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So, you know, if you're in the market for an iPod, you've got 3 choices: the Shuffle, the Nano, and just the standard old iPod. I think there's something there for everyone when it comes to portable music. Now, of course, if you're looking for some storage for music at home, you know, you've got more than, what was it, 15,000 songs, well, you're going to need a bigger hard drive. And the best hard drive you can possibly get right now, at least what I think is become the ultimate hard drive, is the Hitachi Desk Star 7K 500. This is a SATA hard drive, runs at 7,200 RPM, and it has 500 gigabytes of storage. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Yes, this is it for storage. Plus, it doesn't just hold a lot. Its performance rating is incredible. It reads and writes so fast. It's rated at one of the most reliable drives you can get, and it's quiet. It runs cool. You can't go wrong with this drive. It's the Hitachi 7K 500. Now, if 500 megs is just too much, sorry, 500 gigs is just too much for you, you can get other smaller versions of the same 7K series drives. They have the 7K 250, the 7K 160, the 7K 80, but really, you know, for me, I'm a big geek for hard drive space, and I'd love to get a 7K 500 gig drive. Now, the ultimate gift tonight is a monitor that, I mean, it just blows me away as far as gaming. We were talking about the speeds of LCD monitors for gaming and how the important thing is response time. Well, get this. ViewSonic has released the VX922, a 19-inch LCD monitor with a resolution of 1280 by 1024, and its response time is 2 milliseconds. 2 milliseconds gray to gray, 2 milliseconds white to black to white. This is I cannot believe it. This is 4 times faster.
That's fast as lightning.
Exactly. It's 4 times faster than my previous top gaming LCD monitor, the Samsung 930B. I mean, blown out of the water by this ViewSonic VX922. And it's only $400. So, you know, if you're looking for a great Christmas gift for anyone, I mean, whether you're playing games, it's such a clear screen. I have a ViewSonic, the VX900, which is the much earlier version of the similar series. It has 25 milliseconds, but it's so clear, it's so easy to see text on. So, if you're buying this for someone who's just doing business applications, if you're buying this someone who's doing a game, if you've got a whole family, everyone is sharing the same monitor and you want something that's good for everyone, this is the monitor. And get this, now this is one thing I really appreciate ViewSonic does. They include in the package a DVI cable. Now, a lot of these flat panel monitors which support DVI as well as VGA only ship with a VGA cable because the DVI cable is, you know, kind of pricey. Well, ViewSonic actually gives it to you, so you can take advantage of all the digital video interface connectivity between your video card, perhaps one of the brand new ones that we were discussing before the break, with your brand new monitor. So it's a great package deal. It's only $400. You've got it all there, and you can get it right with Newegg.com. So that's our holiday technology must-have list. Of course, we've got a lot of technology news and interviews coming up in future episodes of Technology Today, and we've got a whole lot more coming up on GameSHOUT Radio. Stay tuned. Later this week we've got the science segment with some fun news and some fun experiments, and lots more right here on GameSHOUT Radio.
You have been listening to Technology Today. This show is brought to you by Newegg.com. Newegg.com is an online computer, consumer electronics, and communication products superstore, offering the widest product selection of IT and CE brands in the industry. At Newegg, consumers can find product information, how-tos, customer reviews, and opportunities for community interaction. That's Newegg. That's Newegg.com. Thanks for listening.
This is GameSHOUT Radio, the #1 talk game station in the world. Visit GameSHOUT.com for more info. GameSHOUT. GameSHOUT.
Well, you've made a smart choice.